got a question.
Okay.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the hell you are in the world, and welcome to Scitrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. It's just me and young Harris today.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, chilling with us, Dilly. I am poorly, so if at any point I just sort of go, it's because I'm sick. But, you know.
You tell me that now after talking to you for like the last 10, 15 minutes? I might get digital sickness somehow. I don't know, man.
I was fine until I started talking to you. Then I started feeling nauseous. Weird.
Things happen, you
know. It's the beard that did it. But yeah, so I thought we would talk a little bit about Halo.
Okay.
I have a Stargate related question because I need you and the lovely people to actually help me with the video I'm recording this week. Because I don't know the answer. I started thinking about it. I'm like, shit, I don't know. Matt is not with us today because he's a little bit busy, but he's in the comments, so everyone say hello. And I think Matt actually be able to help me with this as well a little bit. But yeah, that's a Stargate thing. And then wherever else conversation takes us. But first of all, have you... Oh, no spoilers, please, for Peter on Halo.
Peter said extra spoilers, please.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
I'm dyslexic sometimes.
We'll have to be vague. We'll have to try to be vague. But have you seen the first episode?
I have. I've seen both the first two episodes.
Right, I haven't seen the second episode, so I don't want spoilers on the second episode.
Well, so you see this guy. I'm kidding.
Okay. Just generally, though, compared to the first season, I should say.
Okay, first season.
What did you think?
So they fired the season 1 showrunners before season 1 even aired and replaced with these guys for season 2, and I can't tell a difference at all. I was expecting something just like tonally different. I don't know, there are some clear shifts that are evident, and I actually kind of like the shifts. But tonally and aesthetically, everything they like, the feel and the vibe of the show are still very much the season 1. I feel like, for better and worse.
Yeah, I have to admit I can't tell much difference other than I think the battle sequence on top of the hill by the communication thing in the first season, the first episode, was probably better than anything we saw in the first season. Oh, it felt more like the game or some of the games, maybe.
Really? I thought that was the weakest point of the whole episode because it doesn't actually show a battle. We don't want to get any spoilers, but there's a battle that is not. It's very foggy. We'll just say that. That's all we'll give you.
I suddenly realised my microphone is nowhere freaking near me.
Oh sorry, God, I can hear you again.
There we go. Hello.
I feel like I just came out of a water tank, you know?
It'll correct itself in a second. I've got a new desk and a new setup, so now my microphone is way over there. And I actually recorded 4 videos last week and forgot to pull the microphone near me. So tomorrow's video as well it feels like I'm a little bit far away. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, no, I thought that battle sequence was pretty impressive, to be honest, when he's fighting those first few guys and everyone's dying. I loved the bit in the fog when all the swords and stuff. I was like, that guy's been watching the end of Rogue Squadron. Rogue One, sorry.
I wish we got Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, but then it went back to, for me, the problem with the first. It's not a problem. You can't do a series that's like the game. You just can't. You've got to have people that talk to each other, haven't you? You know, there's got to be a story. It can't just be him running around shooting and I don't want him to take the damn helmet off ever. But that's not reasonable.
Did you see I think Pablo Schreiber, I don't remember who plays Dr. Halsey, and then I think one of the showrunners were all in an interview, and there's a clip that's going around, I think, Instagram and YouTube right now that has Pablo Schreiber saying, well, that's not the show we were going to make. I know people love Master Chief having a helmet on all the time, but that's not, you can't really make a show like that. And then here comes Henry Cavill coming in the next clip, just getting kicked off of different TV shows and things like that for saying, no, they wouldn't do this. This is not how these characters react. You haven't read this. You haven't watched this. You haven't played this to actually understand what these guys would be doing right here. And they're just like, say what we wrote, you know? People are comparing one or the other. And I don't think it's apples to oranges necessarily. I think they're probably 2 different variations of apples here. Or one might be an orange, one might be a mandarin, something like that.
I figure out where to put that microphone so I can see everything. There we go.
I feel like Pablo. I feel like they could do a little bit more Mandalorian with it, but from someone who. That's the thing. From someone who only ever played one Halo game, and it was the prequel game that like didn't really amount to much necessarily. It starts off a story but doesn't continue the story. It's just a fine sci-fi show, but I can see why Halo people are angry about it, and why the people that, because I'm always saying Henry Cavill is great for doing all that, but I kind of say the opposite with the Halo show, and it's because I haven't actually played Halo or watched the movies or read the books or anything like that, and those people are frustrated, and I understand why. But it's still a decent show.
Cortana's going to come back though, isn't she? She's such an big important part of the game.
She's in episode 2, but they do her in an interesting way. There's a change. I won't tell you any more than that, but there is a shift to the way the Cortana dynamic works, and I'm kind of confused in general. I don't know if they recast the character or not.
I thought it was CGI'd.
No. That's a person.
Okay.
And it was the original voice actors for Cortana as well, I believe.
Yeah.
And now it's not. I don't know.
But I mean, generally speaking, the Halo show for me, I was so excited about it, and I watched the first episode and I was like, hee. And I have to admit, this is awesome. But by the end of the first season, I was a bit. Yay! That was great. Oh, I was chatting again. But it ended on a high. But there was a lot of the storyline with the bad guys who I've never forgotten the name of.
The Covenant, or the
like the human storyline. I can't even remember a lot of it now. It's so forgettable. Hey, Kerry, how you doing? Oh, Matt didn't like it.
Uh-oh.
But it's one of those shows that I can 100% understand. Where, hey, chillin', how you doing, sir? He backed me up in the week. He's a monster on the formerly known as Twitter. Our Aaron.
We were talking about it last night on his live stream. He did a nice long live stream yesterday.
Yeah. You kill me. You young people, you can just go for hours though, and I can't go for hours anymore.
Aaron's a year young, or is he a year older or a year younger? I don't remember.
I think he's about 20 years older than me, isn't he? Because I'm only 25. So.
Well, of course, I forgot. I forget.
But yeah, I can. It's one of those shows that I can completely understand why anybody would not like it. It's not boring. And I do like some of the action sequences, and I love when they're running. They properly run like the game and stuff. I'm watching bits and I'll go, "That's so cool."
It's cheesy, but I like that they're saying, you know what, it might not look great, but we're going to show you that these Spartans are doing things that human beings cannot do. I do like that. Hell, maybe the CGI is not going to look perfect, but we're going to show you that they can actually still do this. I like that a little bit.
Yeah. I understand that. I got you.
But it does look a little shoddy.
It doesn't look amazing, but I quite like it. There's a lot of very iconic stuff in the series that is like in the background, a bit like Star Wars. Really, sometimes the background stuff's so cool. The story doesn't matter. Almost, but it does. I think I'm going to be disappointed by season 2 of Halo, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the last one. If I'm honest, because this is not a cheap show to make.
No.
And
I don't even know the viewing numbers.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
I haven't even been paying attention to the viewing numbers either. Obviously, I don't think we have them for this season, but I don't even remember how they were last.
We should have the Nielsen for yesterday. It's on Fox. I forget what it's called. I can't be asked to look it up now. But yeah, I'll have a look when I have a think about it. But we'll have to see. At the end of the day, the numbers are one thing, but it's how we feel about it is probably more important. And I'm just thinking that with everything going on at Paramount, this is going to be an expensive show to make. God knows what the image rights and stuff are, or whatever they're paying the gamers, the gaming company. It's going to be, I think it'll be one of those things that gets on the chopping block, unless new owners come in and actually want to push forwards with it.
Well, I mean, because it was gonna be Paramount's flagship series on their TV. I mean, not streaming channel, I guess, at least. And now that these things are being bought up, and Paramount might be bought up in general, it just you made me think while we were talking about that is if we were going to do Rushmores for Paramount, what IPs would Paramount have as their Rushmores? I think Top Gun, Mission Impossible, and
let's explain that for a second though, because I didn't understand. It took me a minute to realize what you were on about when you started going about Rushmores all the time. So you've obviously got Mount Rushmore, massive monument in America, all the president faces, and they're supposed to be like the 4 greatest presidents,
something like that.
Sort of thing. So if you had to replace those presidents' faces with 4 iconic something else's instead, what would Paramount be? You got a difference between movie and TV though. So you want to go movie?
I'm thinking I'm thinking more general in the sense of like IP that Paramount can still like profit off of, I guess.
Oh well, then you threw in the word profit and made it more.
I know. I see that. I was like, well, they got a lot of debt before they cover that bit.
Yeah. I gotta say, Star Trek doesn't make the money it used to. But the things that they really pushed are obviously the Paramount movies for Paramount Plus, and it's Top Gun is the main one right now, by a long way. I can't even think of another franchise or big thing they've got on Paramount.
Star Trek, Avatar. I think Avatar: The Last Airbender makes probably a decent money towards the. I don't know if it would make more than Star Trek, but it's in that realm of talk. It makes way more money than everybody ever thinks it does.
Isn't it Netflix?
No, it's Paramount. They have it on Netflix though, so they're making extra money with that too.
So that's a joint venture. Okay.
Well, the Netflix live action is its own thing, but Nickelodeon is part of Paramount, and it is a joint venture for that. But Paramount has Avatar Studios, which is succinctly all their animated stuff, which is one of the largest IPs in the world, I guess. So I would think them, Top Gun, and Mission Impossible. So you got 2 Tom Cruises, and I feel like they wanted Halo to be there, but it's probably Star Trek.
Sorry, Bob. Apparently our volumes are all messed up. It's because I keep moving my microphone around. Who's quieter, me or Harris? Do I need to move my microphone away or towards?
Probably closer. My mic's always so damn loud.
Hello. I can move it a bit closer. But yeah, it's because I've been messing around. It always levels up when the video starts. It's the only way we can do it is if we actually stop and start again. But because I forgot where my Jay moved closer, yes, because I started off and it was way over there. So then I've been moving closer. Anyway, I've also got a sore throat, so I'm not talking as loudly as I normally do.
Echo.
Echo. Harris's sound is good. Mine is hello. Americans are always loud.
Guess what?
Bob, nitpicking. What?
I can't believe it. I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, it's never. I don't believe it for a moment. I think that's a little bit better now, but I can turn my mic volume up slightly. Actually, there we go. Adjust mic volume automatically. Ooh, I didn't even notice that. That's a new option.
That sounded good too, right there.
Well, I've just added it to automatic, so let's see what happens.
Also good. Secular Monk brought up a really good point real quick. Just while we're talking about these Rushmore things, Tom Cruise just set up the studios on the Warner Brothers lot, so it's happening. The 2 IPs that he has with Paramount are Paramount IPs, but he did just sign up his Warner Brothers stuff. So is he going to take a back seat? I know they're doing Top Gun 3, and I know they're doing another Mission Impossible, but
that was one of these deals that a lot of big stars are doing at the moment, and Ryan Reynolds has got a similar one, and I think that's with Paramount as well, isn't it?
I think Ryan Reynolds and Adam Sandler both have Netflix deals, pretty big Netflix deals.
No, they do have Netflix deals, but Ryan Reynolds just extended a deal, and it was one of the big studios. Ryan Reynolds.
I would think Netflix. I don't know what other things work. Disney or Netflix?
Well, the thing is, like, those are Paramount. Maximum Effort Productions has a multi-movie deal with, and he's just renewed it. I was surprised when it was Paramount as well, to be honest, because I was like, has he released any Paramount movies? But he must have done. But obviously, that won't be Deadpool. That's maximum effort. That's the maximum effort production company. So that thing he did on Netflix a year or two ago, it'll be that. Not sure what else, but a few quid. He's got a few quid.
Well,
right.
Tim brings up another good point. We might have to switch up the. Well, he said Transformers is also a huge IP. Tired.
Yeah.
But I know is it more Paramount IP or is it more Universal? I think of it more as Universal IP. I'm pretty positive it's Universal. But I know it is a joint venture, I believe, because all their title cards always have a little Paramount up in there.
Most of these big IPs are joint ventures now. Anyway, they a lot of the companies don't have the massive money to invest in these projects, or they don't want to, so they try and spread the risk about a little bit. I actually, somebody was telling me, because another reason why a lot of them do it though is because they have deals with different studios in different parts of the world. So when a movie is filming and it's in multiple locations, sort of thing, sometimes they will. It ends up being a joint venture because they're like, oh, we want to film there. Universal's got brilliant studios there, so we have a chat, and it ends up being a joint venture eventually. But that's a practical reason why sometimes it happens. Other times, actually, a lot of the time, these IPs are joint owned as well. They're not. It's not clear who owns them. What was the example of that? There was something was going to come back, and there's like they couldn't figure out. Oh, Farscape initially.
Okay.
There's going to be a Farscape reboot. And I was generally told that the Jim Henson production company thought they owned the IP, so they started moving forwards and were like going to like, we can do it ourselves. Well, it's us and Hallmark, we own it. And then when they got into it, they were like, oh, we don't. How don't we own this IP? Well, they own bits of it, and they don't own other bits, and it was just weird. It was like, how does that happen?
Yeah, like kind of how Star Trek is now with their little multiple different.
Well, I mean, I can understand how it happened with Marvel or something like that. Whereas Trekgate, I will get to your question in a second. It's interesting, but we might be opening a can of worms talking about Babylon 5.
I was like, oh.
But it is an interesting question. I'll hold it so I don't lose it. But I can understand something with Marvel because Marvel were in trouble, so they sold like the X-Men and Spider-Man. They sold specific parts of their IP because there wasn't one big IP, was there? It's lots of different, even though they had loads of crossover.
Yeah.
On IP. So I can kind of understand how that happens. But how does a show like Farscape get its IP confused? It doesn't make any sense to me. Star Trek did it because the two Paramount basically split into the Viacom Paramount, Viacom CBS split. So Viacom kept the movie rights and CBS kept the TV rights. And then it got confused because when they did a new movie, they were like, we both own the rights to a lot of these images. It's like, we both do. So it's like, I
want to say Jim Henson Company had something like that happen to them too. And it's why they don't necessarily have the ability to go and make, they have to go seek out a partner to actually make a project because they don't have the ability to make themselves one most of the time now.
They do have a studio space, but they invested a load of money to do like grown-up projects. I forget what he called it, Jim Henson's something, but it was supposed to be adult. It sounds like
it was his daughter doing it, and it was the one movie that started off that had Melissa McCarthy in it, and it just didn't turn out very good. I don't remember what exactly it was.
It bombed and lost them a crap load of money. Basically, they took they sold the Muppets to Disney and made a fortune, put it into this like production company. They're going to try and make movies, and it just failed miserably. And now they're in trouble. So as a business,
and the thing that pisses me off the most about it was that it probably kept Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance from getting a season 2. And I will never not be upset about that.
Yeah. Mattel, and exactly Monk says that Mattel are trying to create an extended version of G.I. Joe. They are.
With Transformers. And I don't dislike the idea and the concept and how they have set it up. I just don't think that they're going to be successful in doing so. It's too much saturation.
we'll open the can of worms because it was bound to come up at some point. All over my face. Is it a good thing or a bad thing we're not getting the B5 reboot? I'm mixed. Don't like hard reboots, but interested in what JMS would do. I'm less interested in what JMS will do now. Sorry, I might be bitter. No. The man's a genius. He's a knob, but he's a genius. I'm same as you, Trekgate. I am really mixed by it because it could have been really amazing. And the one thing I should say is, you never know that the Warner Brothers might push this again in a few years. They might. They own an IP there that is still popular, and they know it. It's not Star Trek level, but it's still popular. So this could get resurrected. Yeah, it still might happen. You never know. It's just right now, as it stands, it ain't. As it stands right now.
Do we have any gauge on how popular it is realistically?
When it was on Max 2 years ago, when the original series was redone, apparently its viewing figures were really good. It made like top 25% sort of thing.
Oh wow!
So it did really, really well. But it hadn't been on screens for a long time, so that helped. They digitally remastered it a bit as well, so that helped. But then the DVD sales for The Road Home, the animated movie, did really well. They were really happy with it. It was like 20 something % higher than they were expecting, than their top estimates. They did really well. I'm interested. I would like to know what the drop off was like. But yeah, people were really excited about it.
Well, that was like that. You said 2 years ago.
The animated movie came out last year.
Okay. Well, this past year, I mean, you've seen all the top shows and everything. People are not watching the new things; they're watching old things. So, hell, maybe. You know?
Well, I think that was what. So it's the one thing. I mean, obviously, everyone knows I fell out with JMS, the creator, in the week, and he called me a bad word, and then his friends decided to have a go at me, and a lot of them. I would love to say that people can put comments on my channel all day and it doesn't bother me, but I'm a human being. It does bother me. It does. And you get called names, some vile crap. It does bother you. And it did bother me. I didn't like it. Especially when, it's so personal. And then also they seem to be trying to take quite a lot of pleasure in oh, look at him. He's crying now. He's getting upset now. And I'm like, I'm actually not. I'm annoyed. I'm not actually. I'm quite angry that you're not listening to what I'm saying.
And so you can interpret words however you want to on the screen, but listen to how the person's saying them is saying them.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm saying you're having a go at me for saying something I didn't say, and the evidence is there. I'm not hiding it. You can go look at my video. Go tell me where I said any of that crap. But anyway, but then it's like they're taking pleasure in the thought that they're upsetting me, and I'm just like, what sort of unpleasant little piece of shit takes pleasure in this crap? These trolls, who takes pleasure in that? If I upset anybody, even if I upset somebody I really didn't like, I'd be heartbroken. I don't want to upset anyone. But these little turds think it's funny. But anyway, I just wanted to get enough on chest and little pricks. Anyway, the B5, I'm completely with Trekgate on this. I think we will get more animated. Apparently the early sort of conversations are happening, and JMS will be involved in those conversations at some point. Maybe I heard one rumor that they were going to move forward without JMS, but I don't actually believe it. So we'll forget I said that. Rewind. Forget I said
gonna happen. It's
but because obviously Warner Brothers own it, they could do what they want with it. But at the moment, the live action isn't on anyone's to-do list. Put it that way. And I think it's one of those things, isn't it, that it's like we say all the time, isn't it? It's sometimes the worst sounding idea turns into the best project. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I'm looking at that going, this sounds stupid. This isn't, Marvel don't do this sort of show. What on earth are they thinking? Turned out to be the best Marvel show in years. And then other ones you think, well, that sounds amazing. That's obviously perfect for them. This is going to be amazing. And it turned out to be shit. So, I mean, it can go. It really depends what JMS was going to do with it. And whether whatever studio got involved, we're going to give them enough money to do something with it.
Yeah, because the different studio gets involved everything could change. I mean, the whole look, the whole vibe, everything can change. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, 100%, this was going to go on a different streaming platform. So it was not going to be Max. Like I said a year ago, you know, but I'd love to see. There are some really cool. Let's bless this dude. Yeah, army of trolls fight their fight for him. Yeah, exactly. This was this thing. Like it's like a couple of them were waiting. The one guy actually admitted he was waiting for me to get blocked so he could attack me because he didn't want JMS to block him. So he didn't want JMS to see what he was saying to me because he knew JMS would probably block him as well. But then he told me that JMS never blocks anyone. JMS never blocks anyone. You must be a complete prick if JMS has blocked you. He never blocks anyone. And I'm like, he effing does. He's block happy. So
well, actually.
Yeah. Chilling. Aaron did actually go. That one guy, he went into him full bore. And he was good. I was actually reading a few of them. I was like, he was good. He's good at it. Still undefeated. But yeah, animated. Yeah. If you don't get trolls, you're not doing it right. I actually did think that afterwards. I was thinking, well, obviously they've annoyed them enough that they did really wanted to go after me. And
I mean, I don't want to. I didn't start commenting on Twitter because I mean, hell, I'm not familiar with Babylon 5 besides the name, and I like sci-fi, and I'll probably end up watching it one day, kind of deal. But I haven't watched it as of yet, and I was like, you know what? Let me not say something just because it could screw me for a job. I don't know how. Whatever. The dudes can blacklist you pretty easy out here, so I was like, okay, let me not get fired in the comments real quick. But at the end of the day, it's just crying wolf. I'm sorry. JMS, probably a brilliant guy. Everything that I've heard about him sounds like a brilliant guy, but he realizes he doesn't know everything. He blocked you because he lost an argument, is what he did. And I mean, not in a bad way. I'm not saying anything bad against him. It's just I understand he'd be frustrated that, hey, people are more informed about what's going on with my stuff than I am, and that's because it's in the studio's hands right now. Sorry, dude. That's it. The conversation doesn't really go past that. It's like, hey, it's in the studio's hands. You don't know what's happening with your own stuff right now. And that's okay. It's part of the process. You've been around for a long time. You know that, dude. Don't get upset with it.
He wasn't he wasn't actually contradicting anything I was saying. That was the thing that was annoying me as much. He wasn't taking that next step. He was basically saying, yes, they're going to streaming services. They've already spoken to streaming services because he reckons they're all interested to see the script. So they must have spoken to them then. That's what I've said. Mm-hmm. He said that it's not happening right now. He thinks it's because of the Warner Brothers Paramount merger. I can say that's not the case. But I know from one of the sources, very specifically because they did the work, but I won't say more than that, that the reason I was talking about what the fans were thinking about it was the reason why it's not going forward at the moment. Because the main company that were interested was Amazon, not Paramount or Warner. The only reason it would make sense for that to be pausing it is if Paramount were interested in it. So they were going to wait for the merger to happen. Warner Brothers announce things every day. They're still today. They still are.
Disney announces stuff every day, and then the next day they say, "Oh, never mind, just joking," and they announce 3 other things.
Yeah. So that makes no sense that they wouldn't do that, particularly if it was Amazon that were going to buy it, because they're going to put the money up. So why would Warner Brothers wait? Makes no sense again. But again, so we agreed on that. All that we really disagreed on was that I know what's happened in the last 2 weeks, and I don't think he does. And he said, "Oh, so you're telling me everyone's lying to me?" I said, "No, they're not lying to you. They're just not telling you."
Yeah, it's different.
Or your agent is telling you what he wants to tell you to a degree. He's not going to go in and say nobody wants Babylon 5 because they all think it's going to be crap. He's going to sugarcoat it at least. Anyway.
All said and
done. Move on. I think that puts in a nutshell. I knew something he didn't know, but also the fans, because they don't like what I'm saying, have to jump on me and attack me because that way it's not true. And they don't want it to be true. So, and I'm but I'm sorry it is. I'm sorry. But as I run in with a message and somebody just went,
Yeah.
it's not my fault. Just take the message, man.
Sure.
But yeah, I had a pretty shitty day, and it wasn't very nice. And I've experienced that once or twice before, but it's all the Stargate stuff. We used to get call liars all the time. Basically, it took Brad Wright to come out and go, "You know more about this than I do," or people like Jenny Stivens to come out and go, "Yeah, you know what you talk. Thank you," sort of thing. For Danny, no, mate. I know the conversations have happened with oh bollocks. Is it ABC? I always mix your channels up over in America, mate. Who's Universal own? What's the network the Universal owns?
NBC?
Is it NBC? Right. So there has been conversations with NBC because Universal own the movie rights. That happened about 6 months ago, but Nathan Fillion's then been doing the last season of The Rookie, and he's been doing a couple of other things. But they will have to have a conversation with Disney, so it'll take a while. But the rumor I always heard was that it was never going to be until next year, because until they got to a point of filming, maybe, because he wants to get The Rookie done. He's stepping back from The Rookie already. And he's going to be in it a lot less this next season. He'll be in it a lot less. He's got a couple of movies. He's got something with James Gunn brewing, apparently.
I mean, he's in Superman Legacy.
But yeah, he's got a couple of things coming on. He's in Super. Yeah, he's in something else with.
Was he a Green Lantern? Who the hell was he cast as? He was cast as somebody.
He's cast as one of the Green Lanterns. He's
okay.
He's not Hal Jordan, is he? He's the other one.
Guy Gardner?
I think he's Guy Gardner.
Okay.
So he's going to be appearing in a couple of those. So he's got that, and apparently a lot of those are filming this year. And then he wants to. That'll then push into. He's hoping to do Firefly next year.
Okay.
But that will be with Universal if Universal can get an agreement with Disney, because they don't. They've got the movie rights, but there's a little bit of disagreement on whether that they can do a like straight to streaming movie, if they could do it as a movie event. But apparently Nathan Fillion's got an idea for a trilogy. Apparently, and it's his idea. He's got this story idea he wants to do. So
well, he's been thinking it up for the past 20 years. Please.
But it's one of those things that'll be really hard to do. But once it's announced, it'll be quick. It'll be like boom, boom, boom. Within 12 months, it'll be on a screen, sort of thing. It'll be like it'll take forever to get going, but then once it's announced, it'll be fast. So I would love it.
It just sounds like the perfect mid-budget movie for right now too. Like something that's new in a way, but also it's still that revival of something that is super popular right now.
Yeah. Exactly. I'd love it. Michael, it's going to introduce him to Firefly next week. I tried to get my kids to watch it. Never happened. Kev, that's still a distinct possibility. Space above and beyond, but these things take forever. I'm reporting, really early on in the process. I'm afraid. If you think about like also things like the strikes and everything have just slowed everything down. So you basically got to rewind a year for a lot of these projects. But you think about things like the God of War. That was announced 18 months ago, and it's still like it's not in principal photography.
I don't even, are they even still in pre-production for that? Like
it's still pre-production, yeah. And things like Daredevil, that was announced 18 months before, and it's only just gone to principal photography now.
Well, that's okay, because they had to redo those scripts entirely, and I'm okay with that as long as Foggy Nelson and Karen are still alive. Please.
Yeah. Oh, no, they completely scrapped and started again, which I love. That's brilliant.
The fact that Disney was like, oh, yeah, we had to change the scripts because we were planning on killing off Foggy and Karen. Like, I don't know if that brings me much hope for the new series. I'm still going to watch it because I love me some Daredevil, but I'm worried as all get out now.
Yeah. Kevin, it's J. Michael Straczynski. But because Straczynski is quite a hard name to say, everyone just calls him JMS. There you go. They're alive for now.
For now.
The thing is, watch Space Above and Beyond again. It's amazing, but it doesn't end. There is no ending. And what I was told was actually they were well, it's very early on because there's no writer, there's no story, there's no nothing. But the idea being that it would be a complete hard reboot, and I don't think that's a bad idea. There's enough time has gone by. Not a lot of people watched it first time round, Space Above and Beyond, but it's been more than 20 years. And because they didn't finish the story, it's sort of like a continuation would be very difficult. So having another crack at it is, for me, the best way. But apparently there was a 5-year story arc planned when it was produced the first time. So I'm saying what the idea is, well, we're going to make that now, and we're going to start again. And I just think it'd be amazing. I would absolutely love to see it. That's all right. No.
I was just looking at that. I was like, please, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Please, Aaron Taylor Johnson. But I don't think they're going to let us know for another 7 years.
I mean, the producers have said they're taking their time because they want to get it right. I know that's not 100% true. They had picked their James Bond over a year ago. Rene Jean Page was going to be James Bond. They were negotiating.
No way.
Yeah. And then he signed on to do The Saint. Right? And MGM, because he hadn't signed on yet, they were just talking to him about Bond, and they were just thinking. But apparently, Amazon were really keen on him. They were like, he's perfect. He's cool. He's hip. He's British. I think they like the idea that he's not a white guy, which, however you want to take that, I don't actually care. I just want him to be British. He's got to be British. And then he signed on to do the thing, but apparently MGM were like, well, he can still do it, and Amazon were like, he can't. So they've completely had to start again. It's just, but that was it. And then obviously we've had the strikes and everything. So I've had 8 months. We weren't allowed to talk to anyone.
Well, I like Rene Jean Page a lot. I think that's the right age group to go for too. Honestly, that 28 to kind of 34, 35-ish kind of range.
Second, they did speak to Tom Hiddleston, and they did speak to the guy that plays Spider-Man as well.
Tom Holland?
Yeah, they spoke to Tom Holland. They decided Tom Holland's not big enough. He's too small, basically.
Good.
But Tom Holland actually came out and talked about it in a couple of interviews, and how desperate he would be to do it because he had conversations.
Yeah, I remember those, and I was so happy that they did not continue.
No,
I like Tom Holland. Right. I've seen him in person on set for Euphoria for like months in a row, and that was kind of fun. Generally friendly. I don't think he's as friendly as he comes off. I don't think the dude would have been good for James Bond. He needs to prove that he can do that character in Uncharted before he can do James Bond.
Yeah, he could be 3.5, 3.5. I think it would work if you do it the young James Bond, but the thing is that he still looks about 16, and he can't really do an adult. But what I was told was when they were thinking about this, they were looking at it's not going to be 007. It's going to be him in the Royal Navy and becoming, over a series of a couple of movies, becoming James Bond. That was the sort of the idea, because that's not been done. And a couple of the executives repeatedly have said, we're going to do something different. This is going to be different. They've done James Bond. They've done James Bond getting old. They've done all these things. So, yeah. I know George Lazenby was Australian, but I still want a British James Bond. I'm sorry, but I do. I just think he should be. But actually, George Lazenby, wasn't he brought up in Australia, but wasn't he born in Britain? Just to be pedantic.
George Lazenby? The Australian guy?
The Australian? He threw another shrimp on a Barbie, and then he pulled a martini.
Australian for the rest of the time? Just be Australian for the rest of the stream?
I think he was... Do it. I think he was born in Britain now, but he might not be. Connery was Scottish, and I'm sorry, even though the Scottish don't like it, it's still part of Britain, so that counts.
I can't do Scottish. Sorry.
Hokai Manu. I can't do Scottish. I'm terrible at accents. I live in this country and I can't do accents. But if I hear an accent, if I'm talking to somebody, I can copy accents really easily. But then I can't do it like normally.
We need you to watch an episode of Game of Thrones and then do each different English dialect from the episode.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to do that. There we go. Yeah.
The Harris is Felix. Who? What?
Can't even Felix idea. I like the Harris's Felix. Felix the cat. Felix, the CIA guy from James Bond.
Oh hell, I'll do that. That'd be fun. Give it to me. I'm ready.
I was born in New South Wales, Australia. So, parents British. I thought he was going to be born here, but yeah.
Scots are British when they're successful.
Yeah. That's generally how it works in sport, particularly. If they lose, they're Scottish. If they win, they're British. So that's how that works. That's how the world works. Right, I did have a question for everybody, all you lovely audience, though, because I'm doing a video on. I'll probably record it Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'm going to compare the Q to the Ancients, right? So you don't know Star Trek, so there's a character called the Q. They are very similar to the Ancients in lots of ways, right? So they're omnipotent, except they're not omnipotent because Q keeps saying he's omnipotent, but then he doesn't know that Whoopi Goldberg's hiding behind a bar, and when she jumps up, he's surprised. And I'm like, you don't know what omnipotent means then, because you should know she's there. But they're very similar. So, clicks his fingers and just people appear and the godlike powers. So they're very similar to the Ancients, right? What powers do the actual Ancients have?
Technology.
No. The Ancients, the evolved Ancients, when they become energy beings.
Oh.
The Ancients' technology before they evolved. Technology, yeah. Like laser beams. But what can the Ancients actually do? The ascended beings. That was my same problem. I couldn't think of any.
The bad thing is we were talking about Avatar earlier. I'm pretty sure the Ancients are just all the Avatar. I'm pretty sure they just control all of the elements. What can they do anything besides that? Really?
Them actually control anything?
Well, they're lightning and stuff, right?
When?
And some storms. I guess they don't actually like
that episode with the that episode with the young Daniel and Dingy's child.
When he's trying to become the Harcesis, right?
The Harcesis. Yes, they used lightning and they wiped out the Gold World, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Lightning. Okay, they've got lightning.
Check that box.
Comments. Tell me. I'm trying to remember all these things and I could not remember. The Q would turn them into tadpoles.
Tadpoles.
So now the Q can. Now the Q's powers are quite interesting because they can definitely time travel. They can control matter and energy. I think they're technology based though.
Yeah, Monk brought up a good point. They also control life and death to a certain degree. How many times had Daniel died only to be ascended? True.
Life and death. Well, that tends to suggest they have control over energy and matter, then, don't they?
That's what I was saying. Do they have control over the ascension? Because they kind of helped guide him to ascension, so they kind of have some. Yeah. I guess you can ascend by yourself, or you can be prodded along to a degree.
But if they're able to turn him from a corporeal being into a being of energy, and then they're able to turn him back again.
Yeah.
So they turned him back into a corporeal being. So then he can turn himself into one. So they've got control over energy and matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a control over energy and matter, you can pretty much do anything. What else? Obviously, they can travel anywhere.
Uh-huh.
They tend to use the gates, though, don't they? Actually, we see them use the gates to travel.
Yeah, so they're not necessarily like omnipotent in that kind of sense of the term, or any sense of the term by technicality.
But the Q was the same. Even the Q can just appear. When the Q wanted to send the Enterprise to meet the Borg, he didn't just click his fingers, and the Enterprise didn't just disappear and reappear. There's like a flash of energy, and the Enterprise was pushed, and then it appeared. I mean, it went vast distances in like 2 or 3 seconds, but it was still, the Enterprise had to move. So there was still like like some sort of technology or something involved in the move, and it didn't just go boom, boom, and reappear in another space. I'm gonna have to make a joke about that actually, because I should have used the spore.
Did we ever see any ancient stuff in Stargate Universe?
Yeah, well, I mean, the ship was ancient, but no. Do you mean we ever saw any ascended beings?
Yeah, the ascended aspect of the ancients, I guess, because that was squarely in the tech aspect of things, and I guess maybe the people that started society way on the fringes of space way back and way could have been ancients or ancient related.
Secretary, we don't know that. We don't know that he could have instantly moved them if he wanted to. We don't know. And we can only go by what we see on the screen. And what we saw on the screen is that he didn't. And the other thing is, in the first episode when we see the Q, why did he create that big ball? I think he was just trying to scare. You've not seen this episode, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But he chased the Enterprise and traps it. We don't know why he did that. I think he was just trying to scare him, to be honest. But
like a big bubble or something?
Yeah, no, he traps him in a big energy ball. But anyway, don't worry about it. But
I always thought the Q were for the writers to have time off. That's funny.
This is like any show, though, and there are things that get a bit confusing with these if you really get very pedantic with it. So we have to try not to. We have to give the writers a break sometimes. Borg example, right? So gate travel, life and death, energy and matter. They did the lightning thing. I'm not sure they can be killed. The ancients from Stargate. We've never seen them get killed. The Q can be killed.
Well, no, the ancients totally can be killed because at the end of SG-1, they have an ancient killing machine.
Ancients
and I mean, just with the concept of Amidala and Anubis constantly in battle, just them being in battle implies that they can die. And I would probably kind of just without like knowing any specifics, I would put that on par with like the Greek gods, how they would kill each other every now and then. But hell, maybe Kronos comes back from Tartarus after I don't know. I watched Percy Jackson last week. That's in my brain.
The thing is, when Osama, it was Osama, the Osama that fought Anubis. There was 2 ancients, and they did exactly the same storyline, like a couple of episodes apart. And I always mix them up. Was it Osama that fought Anubis?
Wait. What's her name? Are you saying what is her name? You're saying Osama. It's not Osama, is it?
What is it then? What is it? Oma.
Bin Laden. Oma. I was like, I just said it. Now it's already gone out of my head.
Oma.
Oma, not Osama.
Not Osama. So it's not Osama bin Laden.
Are you sure?
It's Oma bin Laden.
That's how he escaped everything? He ascended?
Oma.
Osama bin Laden's actually Anubis?
Oma was Anubis. But that was a fight for eternity, wasn't it? She wasn't powerful enough to kill him. But then they did the same thing with Adria, didn't they? And who was the one that fought Adria? Because they did exactly the same thing. She basically said, "You're not powerful enough to defeat me," and it says, "I'm powerful enough to keep hold of you," though, sort of thing. So
it says Morgan versus Adria.
Was it Morgan?
Oh, Morgan, as in Merlin Morgan, right?
Yeah. Morgan Le Fay. I always get
Morgan Le Fay.
Right. The reason why I always get them mixed up though as well, I think the actresses kind of look alike, so I always get them mixed up.
They didn't jump,
and they repeated and they did this. Yeah, but they did the same plot device twice, which I thought was a bit okay.
It makes sense for what's at hand, but also, it is. It doesn't necessarily feel lazy. It just kind of comes across that way, in a way.
Adria had all the power of the Ori, so that's why Oma it's going to be Osama from now on. Oma couldn't defeat her, but Anubis was only supposed to be like half powered. He was supposed to be like, they just couldn't quite push him all the way back, and it was the bit that was the remnant that was left. And
well, the reason Oma doesn't take him out is because that would be killing him, right? And that's against because he's partially still, I guess, in the he's half ascended, so half of him still on Earth. I don't know the right term for that. So maybe she can't kill him according to the ancients' rules because of that, because that would still be interfering with the not so corporeal world, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Adria is one of the most beautiful women on the planet, but that show was not very good.
Morena Baccarin.
Morena Baccarin. Oh my God, she's amazing.
Gotham.
I love her. Right. So the only thing I can really think to distinguish them is that I'm pretty sure the Q are technology based. And again, you don't know what I'm talking about, Harris, but we know that from the original series where we saw what we think it was a Q, who's again now, God damn it, I've forgotten his name as well. But anyway, the ancients are not technology based. Their powers come from being ascended, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
They have technology to kind of prod them along to a degree, but it's not based in technology.
Yeah, they have powers, sort of thing, proper powers. So I'm going to try. And John Delancey played. Yeah, I love John Delancey. He was actually in a series that got cancelled after about 10 episodes, which one of you lovely people pushed me towards, and I've forgotten what it's called. It was a Western, but Colonel O'Neill was in it. So honestly, it's amazing. This big mustache, big bicycle mustache sort of thing.
I'm talking Tombstone?
No, it wasn't called Tombstone. Just a second.
Kurt Russell or which O'Neill?
No. Come on.
You said Colonel, so I didn't know if it was Kurt or RDA real quick.
No, I'm going to leave you to it until you figure it out. Western TV show. Legend, it was called. There we go. So it didn't get many episodes, and it was 1995. And come on, Colonel O'Neill. 2 L's.
I mean, it's Richard Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
That's why I said RDA.
Anderson and John Delancey were in this Western. And it didn't run many episodes. I think I would have like 10 to 12 episodes or something. 12 episodes. But you can watch it on YouTube. Or you could. Anyway, I watched it on YouTube like last year.
I looked up the pictures. Frickin' RDA looks great in this. That man needed a mustache and needed to be in more Westerns just from that look alone.
It's like a comedy Western, though. It's brilliant. It's really funny.
Oh, that's fun.
But it's really good.
I love it. Obviously.
Secular Monk, she showed more than her range in Homeland. She did in the first and Deadpool as well.
In most projects.
It's like her boobs were afraid of the dark in Homeland. So yeah, I remember seeing Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk in an interview, and they were talking about Marina in Homeland. And it was like Alan Tudyk said, it was really nice. We got to see so much of her. Nathan Fillion was going, yeah, it was a lot more of her than I realized I needed to see. I just made a joke out without saying it, sort of thing. They made a really brilliant joke out of it. But yeah, it was like her boobs are scared of the dark. They're just
Firefly, Homeland, everything.
Yeah. Oh man, just gorgeous. What else have you been watching this week, sir? As we come up to the hour mark.
I've been wanting to get back in the theater. It's been probably a week since I've been in the movie theater. Because I was catching up on a hell of a lot of Oscar movies. So I watched American Fiction, Holdovers, and I rewatched.
A week since you've been in the cinema. Do you think when you go around there, there's going to be like, have you seen this man and a picture of you? Because they're going to be worried about you.
There should be, and there should be 3 different ones that the picture's at, because I'm go back and forth frequently. And I want to go see Lisa Frankenstein right now. It's supposed to be really good, and not necessarily the way that everyone will love it, but a lot of people said it's an instant cult classic, and it's directed by Zelda Williams, which is Robin Williams' daughter. So I just had to go check that out for the sake of it. I watched Freaky, that Vince Vaughn Freaky Friday kind of movie where he's a serial killer that gets put into and it was so good. It's so good. And that's one of the reasons I want to go watch Lisa Frankenstein as well, because Catherine Newton, the girl that he turns into in the movie, is the lead, not the Frankenstein person, because that's Cole Sprouse, but she's the love interest in the movie. So
that film was Freaky was it was such a nice surprise. I saw it because I think Vince Vaughn keeps doing like really serious films and shit, but that was Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn again, and he's just really good in it. And it's just a stupid.
Anytime you see a 6'3" man running around like this, it's just it's funny. It was just too good.
No, it's yeah, it was just really, really good. So actually, I just realised my wife has not realised that she's supposed to be picking the children up. But yeah, it's yeah, it was really good. I saw that there's another one with a time travel thing that MGM Amazon released again at Christmas, and she goes back in time. It's like it's a horror movie, but it's like oh bollocks, what's it called? But it's like Back to the Future. They keep making loads of Back to the Future references in it. That was really good.
Fairly recent.
Yeah.
The girl Kieran Shipka from Netflix, the Sabrina.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember what it's called.
Surprisingly good film. I enjoyed it. It was like I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I've watched Freaky 2-3 times, but
I own it, which is why I watched it. I think I own Happy Death Day, Happy Death Day 2U, and Freaky, because it was just like a little voodoo bundle for $3, and I was like, $3 for 3 movies, I'll take it, And I finally got around to watching it. So
I watched it when it was on because it was one of the films that was released sort of in between lockdowns, because it was done and then they released it at the cinema. So it was one of those films I would never have watched it else, other than there was literally nothing else on. So okay, well, like we are going to risk COVID and we are going to the damn cinema. And there's a reason why I got the damn thing 4 times. Yeah, it's well, it was more my job and I kept coming into contact with it. It was more why I got it. But yeah, it was just a great film. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Totally killer.
Oh, Totally Killer, yeah. Because Olivia Holt's in it as well. The blonde actress that plays her mom, I believe, but like similar age.
Yeah. You've seen Argyle?
Yes. Real quick, Monk also, a couple of chats up, said he still needs to see Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos' newest film. Yes, it is Yorgos' best, and if Emma Stone doesn't win the Oscar this year, I love me some Lily Gladstone. She's amazing. But that's succinctly in her wheelhouse. She didn't play anything outside of anything that she hasn't played before. Frickin' Emma Stone needs the Oscar this year. And if it doesn't go to her, I'm going to start a riot.
Yeah.
But Argyle, actually, while you're here, I have an idea for a little Argyle video. And like a deep dive into what went wrong, but that's how we'll phrase it kind of deal. And I was going to actually ask, see if you might want to come along. I might pitch it to Schmook, you, and then I was going to see if Melvin want to maybe come in too. So Melvin, yay or nay in the chat there.
When you say Melvin, you've got to go Melvin.
It's just such a fun name. I love the name Melvin.
Yeah, I also love the name Melvin. Yeah, we can do that. I would sit there going, I don't think anything went wrong. Is it bombed? I've not kept up with it. Is it really bombed?
It's one of the biggest bombs in recent memory, and that's saying a lot with the past year. It makes Fast and Furious X look like it was successful.
Yeah, Melvin.
I hear my name.
You did hear
Melvin. He's in the kitchen, doesn't know what we just mentioned. Just rewind it a couple minutes.
The problem with Argyle, I mean, I watched another YouTuber, which I try not to do because I think it distorts opinions. But I watch another YouTuber who I've had to block them because they're just such. One of them talks really good sense, and the other one just talks utter crap. One of them seems reasonable. The other one's full blown MAGA. I swear to God. But anyway, they were talking about it and just slagging it off, and At first it's like Henry Cavill's a star, but he's not. And it's a con. And they kept saying that like it was they'd catfished us. And I'm like, he's in the whole movie. He is in the whole film. John
He
Cena
shouldn't be front and center of that poster, though. That is
see the point. No, I don't have a major problem with that though, because his character is supposed to be what the film is centered around, sort of thing. So everything is revolving around her imagined story. Now I know he's on the poster because he's probably the biggest star out of them at the moment. That's why he's on the poster where he is. John Cena and Dua Lipa maybe shouldn't be on that poster.
No. Front and center, like
yeah. So, but Henry Cavill's character is what the movie is about. That's what it circulates around. I know it's more her. She should be front and center, really, but
it's not like Anna de Armas and Yesterday. No. There is a plot point for what Jamie's talking about here. It's hard to say it or even insinuate it without giving it away. But
if it's in Romance in the Stone, you know what I'm on about. Because there's a similar sort of stuff going on, but extended. To be honest, I just think like he watched Romance in the Stone and gone, I'm going to do that, and kind of made that.
Make it into Kingsman. Callum Ford asked, "Wait, is it actually bad? I want to go see it this week." I would still go see it and form your own opinion of it. Things went wrong, but I don't think it's truly bad. I just think it is. If I were to try to like decipher the problem and give it a fix, it's just so overindulgent with itself in literally any and every way that it could be that it loses you a couple times over. And they want to have a new plot twist every 10, 15 minutes. And if there's not, it's like, oh, whoop-de-doo, didn't see that one coming, you know? And the plot twists are literally only there because the main plot twist is so easy to guess that they're trying to, like, throw you off the scent a little bit.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's bad by any means. It's just, it is Matthew.
There are a couple of bits that are a bit bad. When they're fighting in the oil, and she's like, am I really an ice skater? That whole scene was terrible.
I don't know how you justify that. I don't know how Matthew Vaughn even justified that. He's too good of a filmmaker to be doing that.
Have you go
what?
I was just go stick your tongue out. Why is your tongue blue? Or is it just the light?
It's just the light.
He's got a blue tongue. He's sucking off a Smurf. What's going on?
What do you mean? I've been on Pandora. I've been trying to make sure I get some blueberries.
Been going down on an avatar.
Neytiri. What? Is Sharon saying Christopher Nolan was needed to make this film work? Yes, Christopher Nolan's needed to make every film work, but
I'm not a massive fan of Christopher Nolan. If we need to keep talking, right, he's either done that on purpose or by accident. But either way, I was going to call it an evening anyway because weirdly, I need a wee. I know he's back. Why did you do that? Don't do that.
I was trying to be dramatic. I realized I should have just removed myself and back. I exited the whole way.
I need to go for 1 minute, but I do want to keep talking. Does anybody else need a wee break? Put your hands up. Is it just me? Just me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how's you?
I can waffle for a little bit. Matthew Vaughn directed one of my top 3 favorite movies, Layer Cake. I hope Argyle isn't bad. It's really not bad. It just overindulges itself. And then Matthew Vaughn's amazing. I mean, he made Kick-Ass 2, Layer Cake. He made X-Men First Class. And did he do Days of Future Past? I think he's fantastic. But I do think this is squarely his worst film from an objective standpoint and from just a fan standpoint as well. He's great, and that's what's weird about this one is I do believe there are moments that are some of the best moments that he's ever directed, and then just a lot of the movies, just some of the worst moments. It just feels it's not even like a day off at the office. It's not a bad day at the office. It's just kind of like, well, this is one I've been wanting to make. They gave me a bunch of money. I'll make it. And it's like, I like that. If you have the ability to do that, do it. But also, if you're like, to bring it back to Chris Nolan, we were talking about it on Cinema Scoop, not this past week, I think 2 weeks ago, where Chris Nolan said, hey, technically, I'm kind of an indie filmmaker, but I get these giant budgets, and it's my responsibility to continue using these giant budgets and utilize them as best I can so this type of filmmaking doesn't die out. And I think Matthew Vaughn should probably listen to that interview and read that article a little bit, because this is succinctly a $200 million movie that was kind of like, all right, I have an idea. Let's just have a good time. And good. You're supposed to have a good time while you're working. It's supposed to be fun, especially on a film set. Unless you're doing like a Zone of Interest, like a Holocaust movie or something, then probably not so fun. But typically, most film sets tend to be a good time, and I think they focus too much on that.
Movie, somebody comes in with a red nose on. It's not the time for that. Put it away, man. Put it away.
See you, Kev.
Yeah, I just wanted to. The thing with the Kingsman movies, he seems to have been doing like a Star Trek thing, where in Star Trek they make a good movie, then they make a crap movie, they make a good movie, then they make a crap movie. And Michael Vaughan seems to be doing the same thing, even though I'm not saying Argyle is crap, because it's not, but it's not as good as.
Well, I was about to say, which other one of the Kingsman movies is crap? Because I actually really enjoy all three.
Golden Circle is not very good, in my opinion. It's nothing like as good as the first Kingsman.
It's not, but it had, like Argyle, it has some of the best moments of the dude's career, directing wise, and then some of it's just not great.
But The Kingsman is actually my favorite of the series.
It gets so much hate. I love that movie. I don't know why.
It's an amazing film.
I had so much fun with it. Reese Ifans playing Rasputin, the whole walking like that. The amount
Reese
of
Ifans played the Kingsman. Reese Ifans. No, sorry, you're right. Reese Ifans played Rasputin. Sorry, no. He was just brilliant in that. There was some light-hearted moments in it, but then again, halfway through the film, it just completely threw around what they were going to do. It's just amazing. At the turn of the year, Paramount announced that Legacy was cancelled. No, they didn't, and that they were moving to one film every 2 years. Now they're making Legacy. The film's cancelled. They've never cancelled Legacy, so I don't know where that's. They are still going to be doing the 2 movies though. That is the plan, but I don't think it's like a set in stone plan. It's like a loose plan. That every other year, the next one is supposedly going to be the Picard movie, which won't be a Picard movie. It'll be a TNG movie. But Legacy, they never announced it's cancelled. They've never greenlit it. They've never announced it was greenlit to cancel it. So, can't say any more than that. Really.
Aaron, Chillin and Michael just put 2 kind of good points. Too much fun on set was a huge problem for Love and Thunder, but also you can't be completely devoid of fun, because Michael Carey brought up a great point. Spielberg on Schindler's List literally brought in Robin Williams to play Patch Adams. Like, hey, like, entertain us, make us happy. Please make us smile. This sucks. Like, this is going to be a great movie, but it's hard to make. Please make us happy. There's, you got to find the balance, you know? It's all about balance, man.
I think if you're making something massive like that you're gonna, you've got to think about your actors as well, and you've got to bring up some, cheer them up and etc. Because if you get an actor that gets too deep into a role, we've seen it. How many times have we seen it that actors get like sucked into it, and it really messes them up, for a long time after. Sometimes.
Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf as well.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, but it's gone on. It's happened loads of times. A good director, a good producer knows that he's got to look after his, look after his people as well, and that's right. Schindler's List is one of the very few films I've only ever watched it once.
It's one of those films. Sometimes that's all you need.
I have films that have made me cry, right? And I'm not a big crier. I can list every time I've ever cried. Right. So I had a medical issue once and I cried my eyes out. I thought I thought we were going to lose my daughter at one point. She was really poorly and I cried my eyes out. I think when I realized after my first divorce, when I realized it was done, I cried my eyes out, but I realized it because I wasn't going to see my girls as much, and I cried my eyes out. As an adult. And then Piggin, Philadelphia, Tom fucking Hanks. Made me cry my eyes out. And bloody Saving Private Ryan. Twice in Saving Private Ryan. Cry my eyes out. Right? At the start, and then at the end when he goes, tell me I'm a good man, tell me I'm a good man. Cry my eyes out. Fucking Tom Hanks twice. And Schindler's List. Schindler's List just got me. But because, sorry, that's the other time as an adult I've cried. When I was at to connect it. Because I went to Auschwitz. But I wasn't really an adult. I was like 16 in school, and we went to Auschwitz, and I cried my eyes out.
I would think reasonably so. Yeah, I am the exact opposite. I don't tend to cry often in like life situations. I feel like I don't know why. Just like if bad things happen, that's when like my game face gets going.
Yeah.
But if I have the time to be artsy fartsy and sit there and enjoy a little movie, which I tend to do fairly frequently. I will cry 5 times in a movie. That movie Marriage Story with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, whenever Adam Driver's walking his son out of the movie theater, is like, how many times did you cry in that movie? And he's like 4 times. And he's like, no, good. I cried 5. And I'm like, oh, that's me. Like, people have emotions. I watch people having emotions. I'm like, and then just throughout the day, I have plenty myself. But yeah, I guess I just don't cry.
I did not cry during Babe, but right, I nearly cry, and I don't, but I get a lump in my throat every single time I watch The Invincibles. How stupid is that? But there's this one bit, there's this one scene, and it gets me every time. And it just says, they're in the rocket, and then they're in the RV thing, and they land, and he goes, right, I'm gonna go and do it. And she goes, well, we're coming with you, we're a team. She says, no, I'm not strong enough. And she says, you're not strong. I'm not strong enough to lose you again. And every single time, like, because it's such a bloke emotion, such a raw bloke emotion to think that way. Yeah.
I might think you're lying to me if you say you haven't cried during this scene. Because every single time I see it, it still gets me. Even if I'm just watching a freaking clip for 5 seconds on freaking YouTube or Twitter, wherever, I'm just like, oh my God. I'm going to have to leave again. Damn. That one hurts. That one hurt. I remember watching that for the first time as a kid, and the death of Artax just, it was just brain pain. I love me some old Yeller, but freaking Artax just was that was what are they called?
Yeller. That's very much an American thing. Never seen it.
Oh, you got to. Yeah, you should, but it's a sad. But the thing that should make you cry is Aragorn saying, we're going to bend the knee to the hobbits at the end of Return of the King every time. That just, no? Do you have a soul? Do you have a soul?
It's just very small. I'm like the Grinch. My soul is like, it's 1.5 times too small.
It's a British soul.
My wife says I'm emotionally, I can't say the word because it's a nasty word, but it used to be a word that you said for people that have brain injuries and things. It's not a very nice word. Anyway, I'm not allowed to say it, but I'm emotionally restricted. So I do anger. Oh, I do anger. But other than that, she says I don't get scared when I should. But I actually think when I get scared, I get angry. So I think blokes switch to anger quite quickly. So if like the kids do something and it scares me because I think they're going to get hurt, I get angry and I'm like, why did you do that? Sort of thing. But the wife, their wife says I'm full blown stiff up, which is why I can recite every single time I've cried as an adult. I know exactly when it happened because it's very rare. And I've been through some crap, over the years. I don't, I could, if I told you a few things, I could make you cry. I bet you.
Trust me.
But
right here, right now. Just kidding. No.
But yeah, don't make Jay angry. You won't like him when he's angry. I can be very aggressive, and but it's a side of me I really don't like, and I try very hard to control. Because I went through a period in my life where I didn't control it very well, and I'm 5'6", and I think I'm 6'2", so I used to get into fights, and I can be very aggressive, and but just like anything, I'm mostly aware of my character flaws. Some of them, some of them I don't care about. Some of them I'm quite proud of. So, but my aggression is not something I'm proud of. I've got a proper little little Hitler, not little Hitler. Oh, was it little Napoleon syndrome thing going on?
Okay, little man.
I've got Napoleon syndrome. But yeah, particularly because I actually got picked on quite a bit when I was like 12, 13. So I was always the littlest. And then about 12, 13, my dad basically said, look, if you don't stand up for yourself, you're going to, they'll find little blokes are.
That's just the reason that I was like, yeah, it sounds about, I know.
But my dad basically said, you got to stand up for yourself.
But also, 5'6", 5'7", wherever you said you are, you realize that's Tom Cruise height, right?
Yeah, I'm 5'7". A doctor told me once I'm 5'7". I'm actually 5'6", but a doctor once told me I'm 5'7". So I'm sticking with it.
Your spine was very aligned that day. That's all that counts.
Yeah, he was just like 5'7". That'll do, doc. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, I'm
also 12 stone, right?
No. Third of my life.
But yeah, I had a phase for about 4 or 5 years when just anybody looked at me sideways, I punched them. It's just like really bad. Okay. And I used to do boxing and stuff, so I actually can punch if I want to. And it's but what stopped me was I really hurt a guy once. And I think I only got away with it because he didn't want to admit he'd been beaten up by somebody that's nearly a foot shorter than him. But I really hurt him. And that was what sort of did me then. I've got to control this because I am a properly aggressive little if that's true. If that please be true. La 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 la. If you're winding me up, I'm going to ban you, Dave. I can't. Oh, McTominay again. McTominay scored. United. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, I have my character flaws though nowadays. I are on my temper, but it's generally my stupid sense of humor is my worst character flaw.
I'm right there with you. I am a sarcastic. I'm not an asshole. I'm a sarcastic asshole. I will just say, my life is intrusive thoughts. If I have a thought, I either don't say it at all, or I just say it as it comes in the head. One or the other. You know?
Yeah, I would hate it. Like I said, don't want to upset anyone, but I know I upset people. But because a lot of the time, it's I think I'm being funny, and I'm just it's not appropriate. I'm either hilarious or really inappropriate. And you guys know, sometimes I say something, you're all like, what? And in my brain, I'm going, it's comedy gold. But just because in my brain it's funny. Or it's just really, really inappropriate. So, he's off.
I said, would you say you're a shithead?
A little bit.
I distinctly fit in that same boat because I literally have a play written for me about me, titled Shithead.
But yeah, I think I am a little bit. I don't mean to be, but but that's the thing, isn't it? I think as long as you're aware of your character flaws and you try to do better, then really that's all you can do as a person. Just try and do better. And it's only those people that like are ignorant, all these trolls. They must want to do better with their lives, surely. They must not want to upset, but because it's through the internet, they don't really think they're upsetting anyone.
No, there's just there's a void of emotion there almost.
Yeah. Yeah, see, Michael Carey, I'd have kicked Bruce Lee's ass. Come on.
Like Brad Pitt?
Yeah, no, that story's not 100% true. Except I know, so the guy didn't beat the shit out of Bruce Lee, it's just Bruce Lee didn't beat the shit out of him, I think is more. I generally think so, that I should grow my hair long and up so I can be like 5'8" by those by that. I don't know.
You know what? These hairs are very like pointy. I can just cut some off and we can do a little
mohawk.
Yeah.
Mohawk. When I spoke to Connor Trenier on the Scitrek show while we were waiting to start, he sort of came over and said hello, and I go, "Hello, Connor, how are you, sir?" And he went, but I heard him say, "Oh, he's got a mohawk," because I was like that. My hair was shorter, and he could see this at the front, but he couldn't see this. So no. It's just I'm just losing my hair. I haven't got a mohawk.
I say lean into the mohawk.
I might have to. It's going. It's just got to go. I've just got to cut it short. It's too long. My hair's too long, man. But anyway. So yes, people, it's fine to have character flaws. It's fine to be a complete prat. Just try to do better if you can, and
try to do better. But hell, at the end of the day, don't ever let trying to be better keep you from being yourself either. Honestly, I think that's one good thing. Is just from knowing you for the 2 years I've known you, 2.5, 3, however many years, but by now, you might be silly and you might piss people off every now and then, but you are succinctly yourself, and ain't nobody ever gonna keep that from you. And they shouldn't.
I think that is important, you know. You say it's called the Jayhawk. Yeah, exactly. I try to be myself, and what else can you do? What else can you do? We talked about how Stargate has been announced at the start of the show, and we told you who's going to star in it. We told you who's going to direct in it. We told you about Richard Dean Anderson coming back. You should have really been here for the start of the show.
Were you not, Batman? I thought you were.
Be on time, or you don't get it now. There's nothing new. I haven't spoken to my guy at Amazon in a couple of weeks. Actually, I'll have to give him a call. But as far as I know, Amazon is still in that holding, just still trying to get everything running, and they're still kind of waiting for studio space to come online. They've kind of decided they're not renting loads of studio space again. So, and as far as I know, that's not changed since Christmas. Remember, we're only actually 6 weeks from Christmas when we were telling you that they'd fucked up so badly.
It feels like the first month and a half of this year has just gone by so slow, and not in a bad way, but just slow.
Yeah, we're only in the middle of February. We're not even in the middle of February yet. No. But yeah, they're basically just trying to get everything that they were doing before the strikes done, and that's all they're focusing on at the moment. And then there's studio space. I don't think we're going to get an announcement until the summer, when the studio space starts coming online. To be honest, when they start actually moving into their new studio space, I think we'll get something around then. And
when we are at San Diego Comic-Con, there, and they announce it while we're there. I mean, it's has to be. Well,
just a little bit of news on San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, the tickets was literally the same day I found out the tickets were sold out, because one of our lovely subscribers mentioned it. Actually says, I think they're sold out. And I went, are they? I got an email basically from it's not from San Diego Comic-Con, but it's a company that are doing like bookings and stuff for them, asking me if I'd like to sit on a YouTuber's panel at San Diego Comic-Con. And my first instinct is, do you know I'm British, right? I can't swim that far. So that is what's basically triggered me to think about doing that 18-hour Stargate-a-thon and seeing if you lovely people might help me pay for the costs of going to San Diego Comic-Con. I've asked if we can get
to the States. Bring our to the States.
I'm asking if you can come, basically, if we can both sit on the panel. Their offering is that they will give us tickets for the full 5 days.
It should be 3, I think. There might be more if there's like some press in there.
I think it's 4. But and we'd have to sit on a 2-hour YouTube panel. In front of probably nobody.
At San Diego Comic-Con, there will be a hell of a lot more people than you think. At LA Comic-Con, I mean, the big thing that I sat in with Jenny was a whole book thing, and you wouldn't think many people show up for books, but half the place was filled, which was kind of nice. YouTube.
Well, apparently that's what it is. Apparently they've got loads of little things going on all over the place, and it'd be one of those little side rooms sort of thing. So it wouldn't be massive, but it would be. I don't know who else is invited, but I'm seriously thinking about going. Oh God, please no, Kerry, please God no, don't tell me that. Don't.
Oh, they're not big at all. I didn't even mention what I was about to mention because I thought it might sway you the other way.
My butt just went.
Oh, well, okay. So they're not necessarily the YouTubers that I watch all the time. And I think I unsubscribed from all of them just because of the whole, I might agree with them for a good chunk of some of the things because I'm not, I love me some Disney and I love all this stuff, but there are reasons to be pissed off at all these companies. So like Nerdrotic and those kind of YouTube channels. When I was at LACC at Los Angeles Comic-Con, they had their own panel, the largest panel there. It was the largest panel all weekend. It was just so it would be a big one.
Yeah.
Come on.
With all this stuff, the B5 thing, that was one of the things somebody said had to go at me because I'm an influencer. I'm not. I just do videos and talk. Go, no, you've damaged Babylon 5 and you've damaged the possibility of it coming back because what you say matters. No, it doesn't. What I say doesn't matter. And they says, yes, it does. And oh, shit. You should have waited for an official announcement. You shouldn't have said it beforehand because you might have harmed the possibility of it coming back. And I'm like, shit.
Well,
I was just saying what I was told. I was just sat there saying stuff in my living room. I wasn't.
I'm just saying. Monk just brought it up. I want some R&B on here sometime. You need to go meet that guy. I haven't ever met him in real life, but I've watched him for years, and I know he'd just be a great person. He's a big Star Trek person. I think that'd be a really good conversation. Have you ever seen Free Enterprise, the movie?
No, I don't think so.
He directed it. It's the one big film he was able to direct in life. It stars William Shatner. It's essentially I haven't seen it because I'm just not the biggest Trek person, but it's if fans of Star Trek were able to meet William Shatner in a way and hang out with him, but he's a character in the movie.
I know that.
That's his movie.
It was more of a mockumentary.
In a way, yeah. I think it was more of that kind of vibe. And he also produced the Cody Banks films. He is the only producer with a title card on Agent Cody Banks, the first one at least. That's fantastic.
They must have just said, "Who are you calling a twat?" And then I used to joke that my war cry was Spoon. Have you ever watched the Tick, the cartoon series from years and years ago? You're probably too young. But he was a superhero and he needed a war cry, and he just went, Spoon. And they were like, okay. And then later on, there's a fight coming. You just hear, Spoon. And then the Tick comes smashing in. So me and my mate said, that's our war cry. Whenever we're going into battle, we're going to shout Spoon.
Spoon!
They must all just hear, Spoon. Push in the back of the head.
Honestly, that would be kind of funny if he was there.
Yeah. And I did. Do you know what? I've got to stop doing these lives, man. I actually put doing the lives ahead of watching Manchester United. My wife, every time, she goes, you watching the football? Because now I've got a live at 5. And she just looks at me like, I don't understand it. Because I've got a commitment. People are expecting us to do the live. I can't just not do it because Man United are playing.
She's like, I've been with Jay all these years, and in the last like 2, he just started doing YouTube instead of watching football. I don't know what's going
on. I've already asked. So I'm hoping that he'll have 5 minutes. The people that go on these things, so they're busy. So Brad won't have long, I imagine. He's got to do like sign-ins. He'll be on a couple of panels. He'll have a run round. I am meeting Richard Dean Anderson because I'm getting a photo, and I am meeting. I got a photo with Joe Flanagan.
Ayo.
You've
got the original model and the 2.0.
Yeah. I just really wanted the photo of those two. I'm hoping to talk Brad into at least like saying hello at the end of the day or something. That would be cool. I just want him to run up, scream, "Shut up, Matt!" in his face.
I was about to say, get a live "Shut up, Matt." It'd be perfect.
Yeah, but I would love to. I'd love to get a chance, and everyone from the companion are going to be there, so it'd be nice to see all of them. Tommy's going to be there, whatever, and I love Tommy. He's a fellow Manchester United fan, so he'll be happy. So hopefully, I get to see him too. But yes, I would love to. I'd love to have a drink with him, but that's probably unlikely. And like I said, it's a very busy day. They don't sit around long. They do the photos things for hours.
You said you're hoping for 5 minutes. Y'all are going clubbing later.
Yeah, you never know. I'll see him on the dance floor. Brad, hey man, how you doing? No, I won't be doing that. But it'd be nice to at least just have 5 minutes. Thank you, sir, and then walk off. That'd be awesome. But yeah, right. My throat is.
Let you walk off.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, Sarah, I've asked permission to film. I haven't had an answer yet, actually. They keep messing me about a little bit, but I will be live from Basingstoke Comic Con a few times. I'll take loads of pictures. We'll share them. Yeah, so I will offer to give Brad my autograph. He'll like that. So yeah, I don't think he hasn't done many for a while.
Matt needs to get an autograph from Brad that does say "Shut up, Matt."
Yes, I think it would be inappropriate if he didn't. Really,
honestly, we should make a Scitrek shirt that has the Scitrek logo on the front of it that says #ShutUpMatt on the back, and just bring a silver Sharpie for Brad to sign that thing.
Oh, that's a good idea. I can do that as well.
Because it shouldn't be any more than like just the base price on the website, huh?
Yeah. Well, I will, Kerry. I will share all of the pictures that I take. I will do some videos for Facebook. I'll do some Patreon videos. I'll spend the whole weekend, honestly, trying to do as much for you as I can. It'd be very cool. And what I'm thinking about doing actually is making some Scitrek t-shirts up just for Basingstoke and taking them. And then if bump into anybody that's a Sci-Trekker, when I'm ducking the Babylon 5 fans, quit it! Stop trying to hit me! It's not my fault. I'm going to think about just like, yeah, anybody that I see that comes over and goes, all I'll ask is give me a selfie and I'll give you a t-shirt. And we'll
save a t-shirt for Brad.
I will take 3 t-shirts, and that's how many times somebody will come up to me and go, "Have you got a t-shirt?" 3. But yeah, I'll give Brad a t-shirt. They got Brad to put that on me.
There you go. Y'all should do like a meetup.
You right?
Oh yeah, my insides are waking up too. But no, Monk just said a meetup or something. I thought he was talking about Basingstoke. Y'all should totally do one there. But if we're able to do the SDC stuff,
yeah,
we might as well do both.
Yeah, Basingstoke.
Basingstoke.
Basilstone. No, it's Basingstoke.
Basilstone.
Yeah, I'm going to take a stick just in case any JMS trolls start attacking me.
Oh, you know what you should do is bring your glasses, just put like the little like dark things on the front and say my eyesight's gotten really bad over the last few months, and bring like a walking stick and make them all just feel really bad.
Yeah. I turn up in a wheelchair. You wouldn't hit a guy in glasses. And I was so sad after you lot attacked me on the internet. I jumped off a bridge. And then, so this is your fault.
And now my knees never work again. Speaking of knees, somebody asked for an update on Stormy earlier. He got his leg amputated this week. I'm sorry to tell you.
He no longer has a penis.
He's got everything cut off.
He is getting a lot better. John, thank you for asking. He is getting a lot better. And 5 years from now, GMS will get we'll punch Jamie for killing. Sorry. Yeah, he's getting a lot better. But he can't come on a live. He was gonna. I did ask him to try and jump on for 2 minutes, but he hasn't. Obviously, he's not feeling up to it today. But the problem is he's having to keep his leg raised, so he can't sort of sit up to get the laptop to. He says other than that, he feels fine. He's just he can't physically get in a position where he could talk to us, if you know what I mean. But I'll try and get him on next week.
How long he has to have that leg raised? Because it's been 2 weeks.
It's been longer than that.
Yeah. Well, just since he's been out of the hospital, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out the hospital 2-3 weeks now. But yeah, he was very, very, very poorly. And he has had his penis amputated, but it's gone to medical science, so that's good.
That's good.
I mean, half
bear, half human,
yeah, half bear, half human penis.
It helps, especially when there's that extra bit of storm added in there. Like I hear storm bears are a whole different thing.
Yeah, if you stroke it the right way, it sets off hurricanes.
It's a good thing Stormy's not here to hear that. We wouldn't hear the end of it ever.
Oh dear. I'm not saying anything. That's not even going to be mentioned. We've done well this year. We've done well.
Well, it's because Stormy's been half dead in a bed. We just at the end, there's always a little comment. But that's about all we got so far.
Yeah. But guys, thank you so much. We're gonna call it a lovely day. We will see you again on Wednesday for Cinema Scoop on M Cubed. We might stream it on both. We might. Let's see what happens. Yeah. And then yeah, that's it really. Should we go? I've done something weird in my hair. I've done something weird in my hair now. I don't know what's going on with it. I need a haircut. I thought you were going
emo for a second. I was like, this is emo J.
I got a weird thing going on. It keeps doing that. Look, I keep doing this Tintin quiff thing going on, which irritates.
Oh, you're doing a stream with Chillin' on Saturday, right?
Yes, that next Saturday. Cool. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we will see you on Saturday. Yeah, Chillin'. I got to after he beat up all those trolls for me.
Damn right.
You
got a little Detroit muscle coming in there for you, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, we will be there, or you will be square, and yeah,
square.
Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Guys, what hair? What hair?
We're all bald. I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody has hair on this channel.
Only you. You've got all our share. I tell you what, mate. When I realize my life is over and I'm old, I've had to start shaving my ears. That was a depressing realization. I had to go on YouTube and go on Amazon and buy ear clippers.
Well, see, that's what you need. We don't have a sponsor for Manscaped, but Manscaped sponsor, whatever the hell, you know.
Yeah.
Go get one of those. They have a nose trimmer that works for your ears and your nose, and it works.
Yeah,
fine.
I got to do my nose. I've had to start doing my nose as well. It's just like going from there. Why are you coming out of here and here? All of a sudden? What? If you walked through and like you cold? You're trying to get somewhere a bit warmer. What's wrong with you? Where are hats just grow up here instead?
See, these are just the nose and ear hair. They're hats for your brain, you know, not the skull, just the brain.
Yeah. You should have stopped half an inch in, Jay. What? Half an inch where? Where was I going?
I don't know if I want to decipher that comment.
We're out of here anyway, guys. Thank you so much once again. And wherever I was, I put the full length in. I always do.
Whole inch in it? What?
Yeah, your ears. You should have stopped half an inch in. Yeah, I have to admit, I do shove it. I do go right in. I get right in there with it. I do. I don't know why. Harris, thank you so much, sir. I'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you.
Everybody in the comments, thank you again so much, guys. We've had over 50 people watching most of the video, which is great. And particularly when we didn't really have a comment, or we didn't really have a thing to talk about. So it's really brilliant for Hangout. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Yep, Carrie just put that Patreon link in there. And before you go, the biggest comment: David just offered you part of his afro. You need a little extra afro. That's to be the perfect mohawk. It'd be the perfect mohawk.
I just need two.
Perfect mohawk.
Stand there. Boom.
I want Jamie Mr. T so bad. It'd be so great.
Bye, everybody. On that note,
San Diego.